Big changes today, particularly for people who are going to be coming home to Australia. Now, people have been warned. It was literally this time last week that the borders were shut, and from this weekend there are going to be major restrictions. Basically, anyone who comes to Australia is now going to have to spend a forced 2 weeks quarantine inside a hotel. Now, I like the idea because it means these people won't be in the overall community, but we're going to talk to a medical expert who's giving some advice to the government about what's the difference between people staying on a cruise ship and everyone getting coronavirus and people staying in a hotel and everyone getting coronavirus. We'll get to that very shortly. But the good news is that after the travel bans, after the international travel bans, as well as the social distancing, there is a huge reduction in the number of people who are moving around town. Now, you know that, but that means we are achieving what we need to achieve without everyone in Australia losing their job and without everyone being locked up at home. Here's the Prime Minister talking about just how seriously we are taking stay at home.
Over the course of the past week, people moving around places like Melbourne and Sydney has fallen by 2/3. In the last 2 weeks, it's fallen by around 80%. On behalf of all the premiers and chief ministers and myself, the members of the National Cabinet, we simply want to say to you, Australia, thank you. Keep doing it. You're saving lives and you're saving livelihoods.
Now, as you know, there is always this drumbeat of people who are well off, well connected to the internet, and have comfortable enough homes that quarantine for them is not really a punish. Now, these are the people who are demanding that the entire country needs to shut down, that the same things that happen in Dover Heights must happen in Darwin, that the same things that are happening in Paddington must happen in Parramatta, that the same things that are happening in Annandale must apply to Armidale. But the truth is there are lots of different things, and in a second I'm going to start to show you not just the problems in the states but different areas and what they are doing when it comes to coronavirus. So the Prime Minister gave a great press conference today where he was very clear that the fight is not just to stop the virus, but it is also to stop the unemployment queues as best as possible. I couldn't put it any better than the way that Scott Morrison did today. Here he is in fine form making a great point.
Every day someone is in a job for just another day is worth fighting for. Where the health advice enables that, every day I can keep an Australian in work. Every day I can get that little bit more of support by keeping those things running. The more we can do that every day matters, because it matters to the person whose job it is. It matters to the business that has been built by someone over many years. It matters to their families, and that means it matters to me and it matters to all the premiers and chief ministers.
Exactly the point. For those who are guaranteed a job on the other side because they work in the public service, they work in politics, or they work in contracted parts of the media, their jobs will always be there. But the sole trader, the person who works in retail, the single mum who's desperately trying to hold on, there is no guarantee about what is on the other side for them. That's why the doors have to stay open in as much of the country as possible with obvious restrictions and common sense. We've got rid of the recreational side of our life. We are trying to hold on to the functional side of our life.